Hello, everybody in podcast land. My name is Andrea, and I'm a senior citizen living in Amarillo, Texas. And I'm here with my husband,
Alan, and I'm a senior citizen. And this is BuziViews, news from the world of cats that run our lives.
You may wonder what Buzzy stands for. The first two initials are our older male cat, Buddy. He's an orange tabby. He's very spoiled. Very mellow when he's not being needy. But since he came from an abused home, we understand why he feels needy. Our next door neighbors took care of him, but not very well. They didn't feed him regularly, and they let him wander this dangerous neighborhood a lot. So when they moved away and asked if we wanted Buddy, we were more than happy to take him in.
We were already feeding him at that point, and I was building him a house of his own. He was a homeowner.
He was a homeowner before most people are homeowners. And Tazi is our almost 6-year-old gray tabby. Her name is Tatiana Xenia. We love the name Tatiana because we watched a series called Orphan Black, and the star was a Canadian woman named Tatiana Maslany. And Xenia, that's just a pretty name. Who wouldn't like Xenia? So together, their celebrity mashup name is Buzzy.
They're so proud of it. They wear it proudly. And now, what do we talk about now?
Well, since we're talking about Buzzy views...
Do cats have views?
I don't know.
We've reached an impasse. The cat's got our tongue.
We decided to try doing this because it seems like every year we want to try a somewhat new project. All of this started probably during the pandemic when Alan and I got to thinking, why are we sitting here in our house alone with masks on while we could be doing something somewhat productive? So we came up with the idea of a exercise program that we named Seniors Wearing Socks.
The whole idea was that we'd take songs that we like, and I would film Andrea doing a somewhat simple yet exercise functionally useful kind of making people not sit videos. They were a big hit. We're now independently wealthy, and we're just doing this as a hobby.
If that were true, I think we would sound more professional.
We'd have a better microphone.
We would, and we wouldn't have had started this podcast 6 times already.
Is it a podcast?
Not yet.
It's pod
adjacent.
Plod. It's a plodcast.
We've managed to, during our Seniors Wearing Socks era, we managed to record something around 25 dances or so on YouTube. If anybody's interested in looking that up, go to YouTube, type in Andrea, Alan, Seniors Wearing Socks, and the dances should come up. Well, it became somewhat of a, not really a hit, but we became somewhat known in certain circles when the 3 television stations in Amarillo and 1 radio station decided, I guess the slow news years decided to come over and interview us.
It was COVID. It was something they could do without having to be face-to-face and actually meeting us. It worked out well for everyone.
It did. We even had a beautiful young woman come to the house and do a couple of the dances with me. Again, with Alan being the videographer. Because without the videographer, does anything really exist? Would you know if I was dancing if we didn't have it on film? That becomes the philosophical question we may need to talk about the next time. But moving on.
So, what is our topic for today, Ms. Elise?
Well, let's start with something light.
Okay.
What do you remember about me the first time that you ever saw me? And when was that?
It was in 1972, I think, or 3.
Okay. How many years ago was that?
More than a lifetime.
By the way, we are recording this in the year 2026, if anyone is interested.
So it was over 50 years ago. She was a wafy little girl in the days of patched jeans, flannel shirts, and earth shoes. She had long straight hair and I thought she was cute as a button. We didn't get along at first, and she had a crush on my best friend. They went out on a date, and she threw money at him. That was the only date they ever had. He told me he didn't understand, and I said, yeah, I get it.
Let me just clarify this a little bit, because I'm not coming off looking very well right now.
Oh, you looked great.
Oh, well, maybe physically, but, who doesn't at 19? Actually, we met in a philosophy class. The part about the best friend is true. I have to clarify the money later. But we met in a philosophy class. The teacher, kind of an eccentric guy, very, very good teacher, taught us how to think. At one point, he asked a question. Don't remember which philosopher. Don't remember the question. But me, being the eager beaver, obsessed student, raised my hand and provided an answer to the question. To which
I, on the other hand, being far less obsessed and of no people skills, said, you're an idiot.
That's it. Maybe not the word idiot, but he did.
It was implied.
It was implied in the sentence that ran something like this. That is the most illogical, mindless, stupefying comment I have ever heard. So please give me some leeway. Possibly. After that exchange, I did wait till the class was over before bursting into tears, running to the instructor, and begging him to let me withdraw from the class. I just could not face that room of people after being called essentially a moron. To his credit, Mr. Well, we'll leave the name out, but Mr. talked me into staying to the class, and I was really happy in the end because I learned a lot.
And I'm sure I had more than one opportunity to put me in my place.
I don't remember that part at all.
I don't either, but I'm going to assume it happened.
Okay.
I deserved it.
And to clarify the best friend going out on a date, it is true. I did go out with his best friend. The date was very awkward. I think we went to a restaurant called Denny's or Sambo's, which...
Look it up.
Amarillo, around 1972, 1973.
It was a chain.
Yes. And we didn't have much to talk about because I didn't know him. And he was a pretty intense musician. Matter of fact, a professional jazz guitar guy. I don't remember him saying much of anything. He did pay for the meal, and I felt pretty uncomfortable with that. So when he dropped me off at the house, I happened to have several dollars in my purse. And not knowing how to end the night, I just handed him the money and jumped out of the car. The end.
I'll add that the jumping out of the car is something of a misnomer. It was a Volkswagen Bug. Not much jumping when you leave those cars.
I do recall twisting my ankle walking up to my parents' front porch, but we'll leave that part out too.
I like that part.
You do? Okay. So I wonder what... Now, Alan, this friend that we're talking about, do you still keep in touch with him?
No, not really.
Why?
We grew up apart. Lived different lives, different worlds. Oh, the sadness of it all. It's very, cats in the cradle.
Well, you might want to look that up too. Harry Chapin. But I think Alan and Joe had more in common than he admits. They're both excellent musicians, and they lived an alternate lifestyle.
I did. My lifestyle was one of barely living. Joe was a bon vivant, a gourmand, a raconteur, a man of the world, and I was not so much.
If all that were true about Joe, I don't think I would have thrown money at him, and I don't even think he would have asked me out in the first place. Definitely no raconteur.
Oh, you're just another funny episode.
In his otherwise... What? Exciting life?
His lifestyles of elite.
But seriously, how many times since that would you say, since that time in our lives, how many times would you say that you've seen Joe?
Or talked to him? Every 10 years or so, he'll drop by to make sure I'm still alive.
I see.
He had the life I wanted also. He was able to do it. I wasn't. I don't knock him for that. I made my life. He made his, and here we are.
And here we are. So it's interesting that out of this connection that wasn't really a connection comes
us.
Our connection. And maybe that's a little bit of a moral there, that when an opportunity arises that seems that it will go nowhere, why not just jump in, take it, see where it takes you.
And after that moment in philosophy class, a scant 20 years later, we went out on a date.
There we go.
And that date almost failed because I gave her the name of a restaurant to meet at. She thought it was a different restaurant. And then she thought I stood her up and we didn't connect for hours. And then after that, we dated a while, then we didn't. And then later on, we dated some more, and then we didn't. And then eventually, well, here we are.
Kismet.
Or we ran out of options. I don't know how that works exactly.
That's true. We had been around the block so many times. We were both lost. And the only thing in common at that point was the two of us.
And
we didn't have a choice. We were stuck.
It was God's plan all along.
There we go.
We had to earn it.
We
got together and got married when it was time for us to do so.
And it was the perfect time. And we can relate that back to BuziViews, because Buddy and Tazi would never have met. They come from very different backgrounds. He was an abused kitty.
A boy of the streets.
A boy of the streets.
And she's a princess.
She's a darling princess. She arrived here just weaned from her mama and immediately won our hearts and Buddy's heart.
They've never been apart. And the few times one of them has had a doctor's appointment or something and the other one was here, they were lost. It was like they didn't know how to live.
And we don't want that to happen to them. And Alan and I talk all the time that we, like them, wouldn't know what to do without the other. So we just hope and pray that both of them stay healthy and that the two of us do as well.
And that everything goes on the way it's supposed to, and someday when the world ends, we're all together.
Exactly.
That's your uplifting viewpoint. That's what BuziViews is all about, making you feel better about yourself.
Exactly. So now that we have given you just a little bit of information about us and about the name of the program, we will bid adieu, and we will come back next time and talk about something of substance that might be interesting to...
It'll be interesting to us.
It'll be interesting to us, and maybe it'll be interesting to some other people out there too.
And if not, well, it should be, because we're good people, darn it.
And everybody should like us,
exactly.
Darn it. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye from Buzzy and Tazi's.